Hello everyone. Today we're doing verses 113 to 121, section 14, Sura Baqarah, section 14, verses 113 to 121. Now let's see what God says. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. The Jews say, the Christians have naught to stand upon. The Christians say the Jews have naught to stand upon. Yet they both profess to study the same book. Like unto their word is what those say who know not. But God will judge between them in their quarrel on the day of judgment. Now I've made some notes to explain to you. Here clearly, both the Christians and the Jews cause confusion. They study the same book, and yet the one say that the other is wrong, and the other say that the other is wrong. The one say the other is better than the other. Now this last testament has come, revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to spread the message to all mankind, to make things clear, to show that no one is better than no one. I'm not better than you, and neither are you better than me. God favors the righteous, and you will see your reward with your Lord on the day of judgment. So therefore there is no need to quarrel. Just follow what God has written in the last testament, and you will find your reward with your Lord, the last testament, the Holy Quran. That's verses 113. We'll do verse 114 now. And who is more unjust than he who forbids that in places for worship of God, God's name should be celebrated, whose zeal is in fact to ruin them? It was not fitting that such should themselves enter them except in fear. For them there is nothing but disgrace in this world, and in the world after to come, an exceeding torment. So let's see what God says here. The idol worshippers at that time, they prevented Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his followers to enter the sacred mosque. The sacred mosque in Mecca is the sacred mosque, Mecca, the Kaaba, where the Kaaba is. They refuse them worshipping God in his sacred house, preventing them from saying God's name. The Quraysh were idol worshippers at that time. And what they used to do, they should put idols all around, all over, where in the precincts of where the Kaaba is. Now, at this point in time, this Holy Quran has come to Prophet Muhammad as revealed, has come down to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam via the angels Gabriel, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's had to now spread the message and speak to the people about God, but at the same time he had to fear for his life, because these Quraysh, the idol worshippers would want to kill him. To God belong the east and the west. Wheresoever you turn, there is the presence of God, for God is all pervading, all knowing. That's verse 115. So God is saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that wherever you are, you will find God. God is not in one place. God is not in one place. God is all over. So wherever you are, you will find God. This is because they were driven out of Makkah. They had to flee. They were driven out of Makkah by the Quraysh, by the idol worshippers. And then for about 17 months, when they were reading their prayer, they were facing Masjidul Aqsa, which is in Jerusalem. And God sent Angel Gabriel to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say to him that they should face Mecca, they should face the Kaaba that Prophet Abraham built in Mecca. It's like placed in right the center of the earth, the Kaaba. And they should face the Kaaba. And when praying, they should face the Kaaba, from that time on until the day of judgment. So that is verse 115. So therefore God said, He is neither in the east, nor in the west, nor in the south, nor in the north. He is all over. So wherever you find yourself, you can sit down and you can pray. They say God has begotten a son. This is verse 116. They say God has begotten a son. Glory to Him. Nay, to Him belongs all that is in the heavens and on earth. Everything renders worship to Him. Now I'm going to do 116 and 117 together, because when I did my notes on 116 and then I read 117 afterwards, and I found that the notes I did on 117 actually runs into 116. So we'll be reading the verses 116 and 117 together, and then I will be giving you the explanation together for both verses. So we'll start with 116 again. They say, God has begotten a son. Glory be to Him. Nay, to Him belongs all that is in the heavens and on earth. Everything renders worship to Him. To Him is due the primal origin of the heavens and the earth. When He decreed a matter, He saith to it, be, and it is. So this is verses 116 and 117. So God has no beginning, nor has God an ending. God is above having a son. God isn't above having one thing. God is above having a son. And the entire universe belongs to God. Man has a beginning and man has an ending. So we cannot associate what man has to God. We cannot do that. And to God just say to it, be, and it is. And these are the verses 116 and 117. Now Mother Mary gave birth to Jesus without having a relation with a man. So many people would say, but now who is Jesus' father? And God answers this question. Because God says that, well, not in these verses, in verses I read previously in the previous sections I did for you, but I will just come back to that because you must have forgotten about those verses and those explanations. So I'll do it to you now again and explain to you why God has no beginning, no ending, and we cannot associate what we as men do and women do in sexual relations, whereby the end result is, in many cases, a child is born. So we cannot associate this enjoyment that we have to God. So God is above all of that. So Mother Mary gave birth to Jesus without being without having any interaction with man. So people will say, but now who is Jesus' father? Now Jesus was born without a father. That is the answer. And on top of that answer, God created Adam and Eve without a mother and a father. So how is that possible? Who is their mother and father? So God created Adam and Eve without a mother and father. And therefore God says, when He decreeth a matter, He saith to it, be, and it is. That is all. He just saith to it, be, and it is. So this is the answer or the interpretation of those two verses. Let's go on to verse number 118. Say those without knowledge, who speaketh not God unto us. No, let's read it over again. I need more specs. Say those without knowledge, why speaketh not God unto us? Or why cometh not unto us a sign? So said the people before them, words of similar import. Their hearts are alike. We have indeed made clear the signs unto any people who hold firmly to the faith in their hearts. And that's verse 118. So let me explain to you what is going on here, what God is saying. God is saying that the idol worshippers say to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are a normal man like us, like ourselves. Why must we believe? Why must we believe you? Why don't God come to speak to us himself? So God says here, this is no different to the people of Moses and the people of Jesus and all the other prophets. They were asked the same questions. So when a people don't want to believe, they will ask you these questions. That is verse 118. We go to verse 119. Verily we have sent thee in truth as a bearer of glad tidings and a warner. But of thee no question shall be asked of the companions of the blazing fire. Now this verse 119 is a very important verse, because this verse, God has sent this verse, and this verse is to comfort Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because if you know the character of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you know his character of his whole life, and when he gained prophethood at the age of 40, but his life from a child up to that point was a character like no other. And a person like this wouldn't want anybody to go burn in hellfire. A person like this would want everybody to go to heaven. So God is sending this verse to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to comfort him. God is saying that Muhammad and his followers will enter paradise, and he will not be questioned about those who enter hellfire. So God is comforting him by telling him, you will not be questioned about those entering hellfire. Your duty is only to spread the message. Only to spread the message. This was the main concern of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was my people, my people, my people, mankind. He wants all to go to heaven. But God is in charge of who goes to heaven and hell, not man. Our message or our duty is only to spread the message. We have no say in who goes to heaven and goes to hell. That is for God alone. Not even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam can say who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. He has to only preach the message, and God decides who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. That is verses 119. So let's go to verse 120. Never will the Jews or the Christians be satisfied with thee unless thou follow their form of religion. Say, the guidance of God, that is the only guidance. Wert thou to follow their desires after the knowledge which hath reached thee, then wouldest thou find neither protector nor helper against God. So that's verse 120. God is saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the Jews and the Christians will not be happy with you unless you follow their way. And what is their way? The way is the way of deception. And one example of this way of deception is that they say Jesus is the Son of God. So many other deceptions they will say to you, but God is saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if you follow their way, you will not find from God any help, no protection. So we go now, that is verse 120, we go to verse 121. Those to whom we have sent the book, study it as it should be studied. They are the ones that believe therein. Those who reject faith therein, the loss is their own. So these are the verses 113 to 121. Let me explain to you 121. Let's read it again. Those to whom we have sent the book, study it as it should be studied. They are the ones that believe therein. Those who reject faith therein, the loss is their own. So God is saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those that receive the message and believe and study it as it should be studied, they are the ones that will go to the garden of paradise. For the garden of paradise awaits him. So the ones that listens to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's message and study this last testament, the Holy Quran, they will go to paradise. For the garden, for the gardens of paradise awaits them. But those let's see, those who reject faith, therein the loss is their own. So God is saying, and those who reject faith, the loss is their own. For hellfire awaits them. Hellfire awaits them, for they reject faith. So these are the verses 113 to 121. If the people of the book only rely upon Abraham, let them study his history, his posterity, including his children. Abraham was a righteous man of God, a Muslim, and so was his children. Abraham and his son Ishmael built the Kaaba, the house of God. The house of God. And God purified it to be a center of worship for all the world. For God is the God of all peoples. God is not the God of a certain section of people. God is not the God of the Jews. God is not the God of the Christians. God is not the God of the Muslims. God is a God of all the worlds. And why am I doing this? Because I love you. Bye-bye.